Hello everyone, welcome to Shastra coding contest. Here we are looking at a question named leaking pipes. In this question, it states that Bob has been tasked with navigating a complex system of pipes and valves in a large factory. The factory is represented by a grid of dimension m cross n. While each cell in the grid contains a pipe that leaks a certain amount of fluid if Bob passes through it. Bob begins at the top left cell of the grid and must reach the bottom right cell. So Bob's goal is to minimize the total fluid leakage by choosing an optimal path. He can only move right or down at any point, and each cell in the grid has valve indicating the amount of fluid that will leak if he passes through that cell. So our job is to help Bob find path that minimizes the total fluid leakage, allowing him to reach the bottom right cell with the least possible fluid. So in this question, we have given that there is a factory which is in the form of grid, and in that Bob wants to travel from this location to this place, means the bottom top left corner to the bottom right corner. And while traveling, Bob will lose certain amount of fluid that is given here, like one. When he will in this cell he will lose 1 liter of fluid. While coming to this he will lose 3 plus 1, that is 4 liter of fluid, and so on. So our goal is to find the minimum amount of fluid that Bob loses while reaching this position. So we have to find the minimum amount that Bob loses while reaching the bottom right corner. So for that, first we will create an array where we will store the total amount of fluid lost while traveling through each cell. Means when I go to this cell, the total fluid lost will be 4, that is 1 plus 3, 4. When I will travel to this cell, the total fluid lost will be 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 2, that will be 6, and so on. So here we have and we only take that path where the amount is least. So here we can like in this cell, Bob can travel in this direction as well as in this direction, and we have given that Bob can only travel in the right direction and bottom direction. He cannot travel backwards or upwards. So there is only two paths where from where Bob can travel to this location. So for that we can see that first path, when he will follow this path, he will lose 1 plus 3, that is 4, and 4 plus 2, that is 6 liters of fluid. But if it first travel down and then go right, then the total amount of fluid that will be lost will be 1 plus 2, that is 3, and 3 plus 2, that will be 5. So we are only selecting the minimum amount that is lost. So we have selected 5. So in this way we have created an array and inserted all the values where the minimum fluid is lost. Like while going to this cell, he can either now he can either travel in this like in this direction, sorry, like in this direction from upwards, or from left side. So he can travel from both direction, but he will travel through that direction where the loss of fluid is less. So he will travel like 5 plus 1, that is 6. Here we are taking the left side of this grid, and the main grid answer 5 plus 1, that is 6. And if he travels from upward, then 6 plus 1, that will be 7. Since 7 is greater than 6, so we will select the 6. In this way we will travel through all the cells. So now first let us convert this into the code. So what here we are doing is that we are simply, first we are taking the input. Now we are first, what we are doing first is that we are inserting the first row and the first column. Since for why we are inserting the first row, because there is no element that there is no element that is coming from upward, like here 4. Since it is only coming from one direction, that is left side, it is not coming from upward. That's why we are first adding this first row. And similarly in this, uh, it can come from only upward direction, like from 1 to 3 and 3 to 6. There is no left side, so that's why we are adding this first as well. But in this one we can see that it can either come from this direction, that is left, or that is from upward direction. So we will see that later. So first we will, for that, for adding the first row and first column, let us apply for loop which will start from 1. Here we will first create an array named dp, and its length will be similar to that of the array. Let us name this grid. The size of the array will be similar to that of the size of the grid array, and we will assign the first element of dp same to the first element of the grid. Why? Because that is the starting point where from where Bob is going to travel. Since we have assigned the first element, that's why we are here taking our counter from first, as we know that it starts from 0 base indexing. I less than n. First column. So in first column, how we are adding is that first we have added this. Now our pointer is here. So how we have added this? Here we are taking the upward element of the suppose this is grid, suppose this is dp array, and this is grid. So here we are taking the first element of this dp array and the second element of this grid, means 0 comma 0 and uh, 1 comma 0. So here in this like it can be added as dp I 0 is equal to dp I minus 1 0 plus grid 0. And why here we have taken I minus 1? Because we can see that it is coming from upward, and I here I represent the rows. So that's why we have taken here I minus 1 will be 1, I minus 1 comma 0, and similarly here 0 comma, sorry, I comma 0, it will come I comma 0, that is 2. In this similar way we will add the second column also, sorry, first row. Less than n. Since we are adding the first row, we will do like this, I minus 1. Here dp0i means this, first let me rub this. dp0i means 0, since I is starting from 1, so here first 0 comma 1, this 4. How this 4 has come? And this has come like dp0 I minus 1, dp0 I minus 1 plus grid 0 I. Here I was 1, so dp0. So we have taken this element, means the left side element of the dp, and the main element of the grid, that is 3, means where it is going. So 1 plus 3, that is 4. In this way the first row will be filled, and now the entire remaining row, that where the it can travel from upwards or from the left direction, that is all these 4, it will feel like, instead of writing this, dpij. Since here, how we are selecting this? Here 3 and 4. We are selecting the minimum element, means which is less. So here 3 is less, so we have selected 3 and then added to the 2. So that's why it is coming 5. We cannot select 4 plus 2 because this will be, because that the loss of water will be more. So we have much optimal path. That's why we are selecting the minimum. Either it can come from upward or it can come from left side. So math.min will be TP. This is for the left side, means the element is coming from the left side, and here the element is coming from the right side. This part represent the element coming from the right, upward, and this part represent the element coming from the right side. So the minimum of from both of these will be added to the grade of I and j. Here we can see that for 5, 3 plus 2, that will become 5. So in this way this is added, and finally we have to return p n minus 1, and finally we have written the last element, that is this element of the array, as an answer. So now let us run this code. Here we can see that all the sample test case has been passed. Here all the test cases has been passed. Okay, well. So thank you.